Hi, I'm KK Limited, and today I'm going to be setting up the 2-gallon Fluval Spec desktop aquarium kit. Some things that I bought extra to go with the Fluval is a mini heater that is 10 watts from Aquarium, I believe, and I bought this because it doesn't really go with the heater, and that's definitely something you need. And I have some glass beads that look really good under the light, so I thought those would look really pretty in there. And I have some river stones, and I heard that they change color in the water, so yeah. And I also have a rock that I thought would look really good. Loud thump. Some of the things that the Fluval Spec has to offer is that it has its own filtration system that doesn't take up a whole lot of space, so that's really nice to have in there. And it also has this LED lighting system that's really good. It grows plants fairly well from what I've seen. Yeah. And it's fairly small, so I only put like one fish in there or so, like a betta or frog or something. Alright, well here are the instructions, but if you watch my dad videos, I've done this a couple times. First thing you want to do is get the outlet hose and the water pump. And you're going to need to get the nozzle off because it won't fit through the hole if you don't. And then you want to just put this in there like so, and make sure this is on there good because it will come off. It happened before. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to just kind of like shimmy it down this hole here, this box, and make sure the cord is facing the back so you can plug it in. Alright. And it's kind of hard to get in there. That's the only bad part. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a fishnet to kind of shove it in there. If I can. This isn't very fun. Alright, and then you just stick it in the hole on the plastic part, and voila! It's all in. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the nozzle back on, like so. One thing I do like about this is that you can move this nozzle around so you can see which way you want the water to flow. So yeah. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the heater. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the heater on this side next to my pump. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to make sure your filter is all ready. This is the charcoal, and it helps filter out the finer particles in the aquarium. And you're just going to take this out of the bag and stick it back where you found it. And then this is ceramic, and ceramic is the most important part about a filter. The beneficial bacteria lives in this part of the filter. Yeah, eh? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try this out with one of my dad's, so this is already cycled. Ew. Okay. This stuff makes a huge mess, so make sure you have, like, you don't do it on a really valuable thing or near. And wash your hands afterwards. And just kind of stick it in. If you're adding this to an established aquarium, a lot of people wash it off with water first, but since this is a new aquarium, we're not going to worry about it. Now the aquarium almost ready, it's aquascaping time. The first thing I'm going to add is my substrate. I'm only going to put about ½ an inch in there because the plants that I'm using don't really require a whole lot of room to branch out. Alright, so I'm going to take my cup and just pour that in there. Normally you have to rinse out substrate, but this kind doesn't require that. And you're going to need to smooth it out to make sure it's even. Alright, I'm going to do one more. And you're going to want to make it even throughout the tank. So you're just going to use your hand and pat it down a little. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some rocks to make it more interesting. I'm just gonna pour this in there. Woo! There you go. And you'll spray it out again. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to slope the gravel towards the back so it's more in the back than in the front. That way you don't see a bunch of gravel there instead of your fish. Alright. The next thing we're going to do is the hardscape, and that is the rocks. And make sure that you do not hit it against the glass because it will break. The thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put the attractive features out, and you're going to also want to kind of wedge it into the substrate. And, you know, just kind of make sure you get those nice features out. And then you're going to just put the substrate in to fill it in and make it look more natural. Now what we're going to do is going to add some water. And you can get fresh water out of your tap with some dechlorinator, of course, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get some out of already established aquarium. And instead of messing up my rocks here, I'm going to pour it into the filter. The water is a little murky right now, but I'm going to go ahead and put my plants in and let it settle a little bit later. The first thing I'm going to put in is an anubis. The important thing about an anubis is that you do not want to bury the rhizome. And this is the rhizome right here. What you're going to do is you're just going to let the roots just kind of sit in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it behind here, this rock here, so I have room for it to grow this way. The next thing I have is a Java fern. It also has a rhizome, but it's a little bit smaller. And same deal with that. So I'm going to put it between these little rocks here. Next, even though we can barely see, I'm going to add some more decorative elements. So I'm just going to put these in the corner here. And I'll adjust those later, make them look better. Next, I'm going to take the tank to its final destination, and then I'm going to put the light and lid on there and fill it up with the rest. Yep. Alright, well the next thing you're going to do is you're going to add the lamp. And you don't want to tighten it very tight because it will break the glass, so just kind of screw it in, like hand screw it to the back. Make sure it's towards the middle because that's where the opening is on the lid. And now for the lid. Ta-da! It's the next day and the water is still a little bit murky, but it looks pretty good. I like how the rocks look in there, but I still wanted wood, but I like it a lot. Tune in next time to see what I put in there.